Shalom, everybody. Shalom. So, as we know, why we're all here, it's because that's either teaching or prophecy. And today is another prophecy. Um, I'm just gonna get into the introduction, guys. I'm just gonna start talking about what I saw. So, I would say as of lately, my prophecy has been very different, and I like it. It's spontaneous, I guess you could say, of Yosha. I like it. Um, so for the past few weeks now, I've been having dreams a few days in a row this week. I received a dream-like type of prophecy last week, and then this following week, I've had about I've had about two. So I've had three of those in total. But last night, I had a prophecy that is pertaining to the title. And in this prophecy, I was dating a man. He was my boyfriend. And this man was taller than I. I don't know why, but he was not important, anyways. But um, in the dream, I was in a Dollarama store. And my boyfriend, I just remember in the dream, my boyfriend was standing there. And I wanted to kiss him. But this man is too tall. So I had to grab a chair. I stood on the chair, and then from there I was able to jump on him, and then I was able to wrap my legs around him, and then that was how I was able to kiss the man. He's very tall. Um, but later on in the dream, it was me, my boyfriend sitting across the room from me. There was a woman. I don't even know who that woman was, but there's a woman sitting beside him, and then there was somebody else sitting right there. Um, and my boyfriend went on to tell me that basically he's trying to break up with me, and he's telling me that you will 2 weeks from now it wouldn't have worked out anyway. I said, why? And this man went on to tell me that he's leaving me for a man. And I just remember the dream. I like I kept spitting my saliva out of my mouth because I was thinking, dang, I just kissed this boy. I don't even know where I don't even know where his mouth is. Sorry, guys, but I don't know. I don't know where this guy's mouth has been. I just remember thinking that in the dream. And when I asked him why he wanted to break up, he basically was just making excuses. He said something about how he felt I didn't really listen to him in certain situations. It was something stupid like that, right? But in well, not stupid if it's true actually, but when I was in the dream, I felt like what he said wasn't true. Like he was just lying. Like he just needed an excuse to shoo me away. And he went on to tell me that he's leaving me for another man. And when I woke up in the morning, I said, well, first of all, I said, Yahusha, thank you for giving me a prophecy. That's just a little more calm. My prophecy lately, it's been all over the place, and sometimes you got to tell people things that can cause controversy, you know. And you know what Yirmiyahu, known as Jeremiah, has went through because of his prophecy. So I'm in the same situation, So as a prophet, when you have something like that, it's a little more okay. I don't have to tell anybody something today. Oh, but anyways, regardless of the prophecy, I'm happy to do whatever Yahusha tells me to say, even if I have to tell people that they're gonna get killed or whatever. If Yahusha says say this, I will say it for him, regardless of what it is. But anyways, so when I woke up, I did say thank you, but then I said, okay, why did you give me this dream, Yahusha? And Yahusha said that this is what women go through. Like this is what women are actually going through today. Like in our time, my dream, there's women that have gone through the same thing. Maybe not in obviously the exact same format, right? But there are women that are married or in relationships, and their men are actually leaving them for other men. A homosexual world is coming. And, you know, with their new year, people of the world just celebrated their new year. Even though you go outside, tell me what is new. It looks exactly the same. But hey, it, since their new year, since their new year is here, right? Um, I did say that the 2025 year is going to be different. There's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of different things that are going to make people think, huh, yeah, this is not looking good. It's not looking good. Slowly and slowly, you'll see. Okay, this is not good. This is not good. This is not. People can already sense, but people really know that the world is changing and not in a good way. But this is one of the changes we will see, and I don't think this is necessarily a surprise to anybody, but it's just more so of a warning that this is what we're going to be seeing. And it's not just in the Western countries where you can just do whatever you want and whatever. It's okay to follow Satan over here. It's okay. Obviously, not people running around saying they worship Satan, but the lifestyle that people have. Because most people over here, that's what they do. They just live life however they want. They don't really have rules, right? Um, and this will be, I believe, a whole world scenario. Like, it's not just going to be Canada and America. Like, this is going to be, you guys, the B system is going to be the whole world. It's not just going to be Canada, the US, the UK. No, it's going to be the whole earth, including places like Africa, where you would never in your life think that Africans would accept this type of stuff. This stuff is going to happen in Africa too. Everywhere in Africa, this is going to happen because this is part of their beast system, what they call the New World Order.
A new world order is emerging, a new axis of world powers with common grievances and one common enemy. No prizes for guessing which one: the United States of America, a country which has for decades tried to shape our world in its image and established its preeminence in almost every facet of power, be it military, economy, technology, culture, or morality for that matter. It is America the world looks up to, all thanks to its global influence networks and, of course, the American PR machinery. But what if I tell you that things are changing? That America's global empire is crumbling, the hegemony of Western nations is dying, and a new alliance is looking to replace it, an alliance led by three countries: Russia, China, and Iran. The three most sanctioned countries in the world. They seem to have formed a rather informal alliance of convenience, a loose alliance of sorts which the West is calling a troika of tyranny and a triad of bullies. What have they done to deserve such titles, and can they really reshape the prevailing world order? Or will they instead push the world into further disorder?
Because they're not going to say, yes, the guys, we're working towards the beast system in the Bible. The Bible is in fact correct, and this is Satan's world. They're not going to tell us that. So they word it differently. New World Order. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, sorry guys. Like, I don't know why I keep moving like this. But I'm going to read some scripture here that correlates to this prophecy. I read this before in one of my last prophecies. I think I skipped this actually. Give me one moment. If anybody wants to go, it's Romans 1 that I'm going to read. This is what I read before as well. Romaim. So we'll go down to Romans 18, and we'll just read the whole thing, I guess, from there. Well, not the whole thing, but I'll stop where I feel like I should stop. But this is Romans 1, verse 18. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from the Shemayim, from the heavens, against all wickedness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because that which is known of Elohim is manifest among them, for Elohim has manifested it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisibilities have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, both his everlasting power and mightiness, for them to be without excuse. Because although they knew Elohim, they did not esteem him as Elohim, nor give thanks, but became vain in their reasonings, and their undiscerning heart was darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools, and changed the esteem of the incorruptible Elohim into the likeness of an image of corruptible man, and of birds, and four-footed beasts, and of reptiles. Therefore, Elohim gave them up to uncleanness in the lust of their hearts, to disrespect their bodies among themselves, who changed the truth of Elohim into falsehood, and worshipped and served what was created, rather than the Creator, who is Baruch forever. Amen. Because of this, Elohim gave them over to degrading passions, for even their women exchanged natural relations for what is against nature. And likewise, the men also, having left natural relations with women, burned in their lust for one another, men with men committing indecency, and receiving back the reward which was due for their straying. And even as they did not think it worthwhile to possess the knowledge of Elohim, Elohim gave them over to a worthless mind to do what is improper, having been filled with all unrighteousness, whoring, wickedness, greed, evil, filled with envy, murder, fighting, deceit, evil habits, whisperers, slanderers, haters of Elohim, insolent, proud, boasters, devisers of evils, disobedient to parents, without discernment, covenant breakers, unloving, unforgiving, ruthless, who, though they knew the righteousness of Elohim, that those who practice such deserve death, and not only do the same, but also approve of those who practice them. So when it says that those who practice such deserve death, not only do the same, but also approve of those who practice them, he's not talking about a physical death. We just gotta kill them all those who do unrighteousness. Because if we did that, we would kill 90% of the earth, guys. 90, maybe more. Like this whole earth, right? The Bible says the whole earth. Satan deceives the whole earth, right? So the whole earth practically, I'm not gonna put a number on it, but the whole earth practically would be killed. He's not talking about a we gotta kill them or stab them or shoot. No, it's talking about spiritual death. They deserve death, right? Yahweh is Elohim to the living, you know? Yahusha is the king of the living, not the dead, right? So just as there's people right now driving in their cars, they're getting some fast food, they're at work, they're at the gym, they're at home. They're alive physically, but they're dead people. So that's what it means, that those who practice lawlessness, basically, they don't deserve to live forever. For what? For what? Right? So that's what that part means. But as we read there, that women are going to exchange natural relations from one another, and men are going to, sorry, and likewise men also having left natural relations, left, not part-time, left. So men are actually going to leave women for men, and women are going to leave men for women. And this is a world that we're now coming towards, a homosexual world. I have a cousin who, or he's my uncle, actually. I have an uncle. He lives in South Sudan. And I remember actually, we were having a conversation one day. This was maybe a year ago. It was over a year ago. And he was complaining to me about these activists in South Sudan and what these women activists are talking about in America, they're talking about in South Sudan. And there's also people active being activists, trying to speak of homosexuality and things like that in South Sudan, which is crazy because Africa talking about that. I saw another article. Um, I don't know what country it was. It wasn't East Africa. It was. Oh, I don't remember. If I find it, I will put it in here. But this man was basically talking about how he said he follows the Bible, but then he's talking about how it should be okay for him to just be homosexual and there's nothing wrong with that. And he's African. I was shocked. An African man, an uncle, talking about that. So this is not a surprise. I feel we're not surprised when we hear this. But it's just to prepare us. You know, prophecy is not to do anything but strengthen us, you could say, so that when these things do start to happen in our faces, then we will esteem not the prophet or not the prophetess, but we will esteem Yahuwah because Yahuwah was so kind enough to tell us something before it happened to build us up. And he does this because he understands that it's not easy to follow him. That's what he understands, right? Um, so yeah, guys. Um, and when Yahusha says a homosexual world, I said that earlier, homosexual world. If I say it's cold outside, okay, it's cold outside. But if Yahusha says it's cold outside, it's real cold. So when Yahusha says a homosexual world, he's not over exaggerating. When you go outside, you're going to see this the same way that we see natural relation couples with one another. It's going to be accepted. It's going to be the norm because this is a what's the word you could use? It is hmm, an act of how those will behave in this beast system. They're slowly starting to roll out their new world order, which is the beast system, but they're not going to call it that anyway. And slowly setting the foundations of it. So this is how people are going to behave in this beast system, right? Because this beast system is Satan's with all lying wonders, as it says, right? All power, all lying wonders of Satan, right? Satan has deceived the minds of people now that they're going to be able to accept that system when it comes, you know? And that's why they've been putting this stuff in our faces, even Christians, which is no surprise, but it's just very crazy because you're going to talk about the Bible. Anyways, these Christians now within their businesses that they call churches, they accept this. There's Christian pastors that are homosexuals. There's churches or church businesses, I will call them, that have that flag, the pride flag they call, you know, on their buildings or, affiliated, you could say, with them. So they accept it. They have no problem with it. They say, God is love. God is love, but yet they would never feed a homeless person. Like, God is love, but you're not gonna love your enemy. You're not gonna do good to your enemy. Like, Anyways, I don't even want to talk about Christianity because I'll talk about that religion for days if I could. But it's no surprise to us. We know what Christianity is anyway. Um, but this prophecy um, is to state that a homosexual world is coming, and it will be in all of our faces, and it doesn't matter where you live in the world, that it is going to happen. And of course, it's going to start here, right? Even if you go to a large, I live in a city that's like a town. It's a city, but it has more of a town vibe, you know. But when I go to larger cities, this is already happening. This is two men holding hands is nothing, but the whole earth, it's going to be very common. When children go to school, or they say, "Mommy, can I go to Timmy's house? Mommy, Timmy's not gonna have a mom. Timmy's not gonna have no mom." You know, like, mommy, can I go? Can I go to Natalie's house? Natalie's not gonna have no dad. Like, and we already are seeing this. You know, I've seen on the internet there's like same gender couples, and if they're women, typically they're inserting some type of needle in them, and they will impregnate them. They're doing procedures so that they are able to conceive a baby because there's no semen there, right? So I guess they have to compromise. So we're gonna be seeing more and more and more and more, more of this. So this should, again, this has nothing to do with us at the end of the day. Like that's their world, right? That's the world that they want. That's the beast system they're going to accept. That's what people of the world, that's what they're going to be okay with. The same way, and the thing is, even your grandma, who you think would never accept that, or there is going to be the older people that, heck no, heck no, they're not going to accept that, right? But as we are advancing more in our time, you know, maybe a few years from now and things like that, the same way that people said that they weren't going to get that COVID needle, and how many of your family members and friends got it, right? So the same way all those people of the world got that is the same way they're going to accept the beast system. It's the same way that they're going to accept these type of things in society. They'll have no problem driving their son to Timmy's house, and Timmy has two dads, two fathers. No problem driving their daughter to Natalie's house and letting Natalie sleep there. No problem. So be completely okay with these type of changes, guys, because again, everybody of the world is kind of moving towards one course, but we're going in another direction. We're focusing on other things. We're focusing on righteousness and right ruling. We're focusing on getting deeper in our relationship with Yosha. We're focused on the transformation of our minds. We're focusing on the collapse of this world because these people on this side that are going to accept these things, they're not prepared for it, right? Which is another reason why they're going to accept that. But anyways, this prophecy I don't think I will keep too long, but I just wanted to bring forth what I was given last night. If anybody has any, I understand following Yahusha is, there's, I hate the word, but season. There's sometimes that area in our life where you may feel alone and you don't know what to do, and it is hard pressed, right? So I just encourage anybody that's following Yahusha that may need a friend or somebody to talk to or to rant to or advice, because we do strengthen one another, you know. It is kind of difficult because we are spread out, and you may not even know anybody that follows Yahusha. To be honest, I'm in that situation too where I don't know one person, and it has come with a lot of controversy because Satan is able to use his people against us, and he will use his people against you because he has an unlimited source. That's the thing. They're everywhere, and they're your friends, they're your family, they're your coworkers, they're your people you see every day. Your maybe your roommate. Who knows, right? Um, but I just want to encourage anybody. It does get easier. You will get to a point where you don't care, like, and I say this to strengthen because 6 months ago I was so sad, honestly, because prophecy is it causes a lot of division for sure, just as anybody else does in the walk, because Yahushua didn't come to bring peace, as he said, but a sword. And a mother and a daughter-in-law will be against one another, and a father and son will be against one another, because that's what happens, right? Because we're surrounded by people that want this world, you know, and it's normal. So don't really take it personal. Don't let Satan get in your head. He does do that sometimes as well. But continue to strengthen yourself and focus on the only thing that matters, which is this and Yahuwah. And I promise you'll be at peace. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like moving like this. I'm in pain. I have my, my lady time of the month, so I'm actually like my stomach really hurts. But I really wanted to give forth this prophecy. So I'm gonna go now. But everybody be blessed. Everybody be encouraged. I hope I encourage those with this word of Yahusha today. And I will be back. Sorry. I will be back, Yah willing, whenever I am advised to come back next. But until then, be strengthened and be strong in Yahusha.